but it's all true.
You are so funny. These are some of the things you said in the book. You said the country was founded by geniuses, but being run by idiots. You say, my favorite, always be yourself unless you suck. Where do you come up with these?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, welcome back to the courtroom. You just heard the testimony, and once again, Senator John Kennedy steps into the spotlight, delivering statements that hit harder than most politicians dare to. Because while Washington, D.C. is busy putting on yet another government shutdown performance, the media wants you distracted with side effects, flight delays, minor inconveniences. But that's not the real case here. No, the real case is the chaos unfolding inside Capitol Hill. On one side, you have Chuck Schumer standing there like a man trying to stop a tidal wave with nothing but a cocktail umbrella. And on the other side, Kennedy, one of the last voices in that chamber, willing to speak plainly, without scripts, without filters, and without hiding behind polished political language. Kennedy doesn't talk like a politician. Talks like someone from the real world. The kind of straight talk you'd hear at a kitchen table, not a press conference. And today, in his latest appearance on Fox and Friends, he didn't just disagree with Schumer. He dismantled his entire strategy. So now, members of the jury, let's examine the evidence and see exactly how Kennedy exposes what many are calling the swamp.
Good morning.
Good morning. I know you've said in the past that you blame Chuck Schumer, you blame socialists in the Democratic Party for this shutdown. This is what Schumer says about the pressure he's getting from the left flank.
Are you worried about the pressure that you're getting from your left flank, and is that part of the reason that you've engaged in this?
No, the bottom line is very simple. We're fighting for the American people. And it's not just one small group of American people that want this. It's across the board. 55% of Trump voters, hardly a flank in our party, want this. That's why we're doing it. We believe that's our job.
Senator, he wants $1.5 trillion added to this for health care. Your reaction?
Well, I listened to the clip of Senator Schumer. His relationship with the truth is very casual. The truth is that this is a political shutdown. Senator Schumer is he's nervous as a pregnant nun about losing his reelection to the socialist wing of his party, led by Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, which is in control. Now, we will eventually come out of this shutdown. Here's how I think it will happen. Senator Schumer, is a smart man. He's been around a long time. His first car was a Chariot. Washington is all he's ever known his entire life. He knows he's on shaky ground here in terms of policy. So here's how I think it'll end. Schumer will go to 6 or 8 of his colleagues and say, Democrats, of course, and say, I want you to vote to lift the shutdown. Now, he'll say, I can't vote with you. I've got to appear to be tough. I may even have to criticize you, but wink, wink, nod, nod. I'm trying to make the loon wing of the party love me, but you bail me out here. But he's got to be careful with that, because he doesn't want it to look like a mutiny, because then he looks even weaker.
You write about how corrupt Washington is in your new book. It's called How to Test Negative for Stupid and Why Washington Never Will. You say common sense is illegal in D.C. Tell us more about this book that you wrote at your kitchen table in Louisiana.
It's a storybook, policy per se, though I talk about policy through stories. Many of the stories are funny. Some of them are bizarre. All of them are true. I use these stories to make 3 points: to explain to the American people what the Senate is really like, to try to explain to the American people why in Washington, D.C., normal is just a setting on the clothes dryer, and to explain why it doesn't have to be that way if we have a return to common sense. I tell stories about President Trump, my one and only meeting with President Biden, Chuck Grassley, John Fetterman, Chuck Schumer, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio. It's a very wide-ranging book, Ainsley. I hope it makes people think. I think it'll make you laugh. It may make you daydream, but it's all true.
You are so funny. These are some of the things you said in the book. You said the country was founded by geniuses, but being run by idiots. You say, my favorite, always be yourself unless you suck. Where do you come up with these?
I confess, I have to take full responsibility. God's blessed me with a great memory. When I read a clever turn of phrase, I remember it, and some of them I just make up. And I do believe in that candor is a mighty weapon. It gets me in trouble sometimes, and I contend that I don't get nearly enough credit for the things that I don't say, but I really want to say. But I just tell the truth, and people can decide whether they like me or not. I don't hate anybody. I look for grace wherever I can find it. But God gave me the right to remain silent, but not the ability.
This is why Politico named you America's most quotable senator. Senator, thank you so much. Congratulations on the new book, How to Test Negative for Stupid and Why Washington Never Will.
Ainsley?
Yes, sir.
Watch Brian and Lawrence like a hawk, okay? And try to get a little work out of them this morning.
Okay. We've been reading captions from your book all morning and just cracking up. So thank you for bringing some levity to this crazy news cycle.
All right, let's proceed with the cross-examination. Did you see Chuck Schumer in that clip? Standing there, claiming he's fighting for the American people? Objection, Your Honor, that statement doesn't match the evidence. Because if he truly was fighting for the people, we wouldn't be standing in the middle of this mess. No. This isn't about public service. This is about political survival. And Senator Kennedy? He didn't hesitate. He delivered a statement that cut straight through the noise. When he described Schumer as nervous as a pregnant nun, that wasn't just humor. That was a diagnosis. Clear reading of the pressure building inside the Democratic Party. Because here's the reality. Schumer isn't leading. He's being dragged by the rising pressure of the far-left wing, the socialists, the AOC faction, and he knows it. He knows that if he steps out of line, they won't hesitate to turn on him. Now let's talk strategy, or what appears to be one. Kennedy lays it out like a seasoned prosecutor. Behind closed doors, Schumer may quietly signal a few allies to vote in a way that ends the shutdown while publicly maintaining a tough image. A political shell game. Say one thing, do another. Keep the image clean while others do the work. But the jury sees through that. And so does Kennedy. Then we enter exhibit by the book, How to Test Negative for Stupid. Even the title feels like a statement entered into evidence. Kennedy argues that in Washington, normal isn't reality. It's just a setting on a dryer. And when you look around, it's hard to argue otherwise. Because when a system rewards confusion over common sense, you start to question who's really in charge. And when Kennedy says the country was built by geniuses, but is being run by idiots, he's not just making a joke, he's echoing what millions are already thinking. And that brings us to the final point. Truth in a city filled with carefully crafted narratives, candor becomes dangerous. It cuts through the noise. It exposes the game, and right now, more people are starting to notice. They're tired of shutdowns, tired of political theater, tired of leaders who treat truth like it's optional. So the question now goes to you, the jury, watching this unfold. Is John Kennedy the most quotable man in the Senate, or just the only one willing to tell the truth? The court rests.